What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Comically Boston. Today is episode 70. It is June 9th, 2023. Today we're going to be talking more Spider-Man. I can't get him off my brain ever since seeing Across the Spider-Verse. Maybe I'll go see it this weekend. It's a Friday, so maybe I'll have some time over Saturday or Sunday, and maybe I'll see that again. But if not, I will be doing on Monday which Spider-Man sequel is the best. Out of all the ones that have gotten a second movie, which one is the best? Whether it's Miles, Andrew, or Shamik. But you know what I mean. Miles, Andrew's Spider-Man, Tobey's Spider-Man, Tom's Spider-Man. And maybe even we'll rank those on my Letterboxd. If you haven't followed me on Letterboxd or started your own Letterboxd and you're a movie person like I am, go check that out. It's Letterboxd with a D. So it's Letterboxd with a D. And I've honestly been having a lot of fun over there tracking how many movies I've been watching and just writing a bunch of reviews. So I'll leave the link down in the description below. Go check that out. Also, what has been the best movie of the year so far? I mean, recency bias might be Across the Spider-Verse, but I've seen a lot of movies in theater this year. I mean, I've seen The Machine, I've seen Creed 3. Is that on the list? Maybe. I don't know if I like that one as much as the other Creeds, but hey, it is what it is. But I'll tell you what is on the list is 4 movies that I couldn't necessarily put one better than the other, but if I had to put them in order on best movies of the year so far that I've seen in theaters, it would probably go Across the Spider-Verse, Guardians 3, John Wick 4, and Mario. And I've seen some other ones. I've seen Quantumania, but a lot of people hated that. I honestly had a great time in my first opening night showing. I don't know if the energy was just better. It just, people were laughing, having a good time. Every joke kind of hit because the audience was laughing with it, So, I don't know. I can see why people hate it after the fact, but I think Jonathan Majors did a good job, and Paul Rudd always, makes me giggle. The 12 holes or 7 holes or whatever it is part makes me laugh every time. He's like, his name is Scott and he has 7 holes, and he's like, just sits there and counts. Makes me laugh every time. But we got some news this week. Captain America 4 gets a new title, and that you can see from this image on the back of the chairs there is Captain America Brave New World. I can see why New World Order is now out, so now they're Brave New World. I think, honestly, this might even change one more time by the end, but who knows? This might be the one that they run with. But you can see Harrison Ford there on the left having a less than perfect hair day, and Mr. Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie, on the right in his Captain America suit. You can see the shield on his back there, still going to have his wings, so I'd like to see that. Can we see what he's watching on the screen there? Maybe just a shot of Captain America that looks like a different suit than the one that he's got on, but alright. Moving on. That was some news. We also got some new posters, or a new poster for The Flash, and I actually liked how this just poster looked. I'm still hesitant on if I'm going to see that or not, but I probably will. That's coming out next week, so a lot of things come out next week. I don't know if I want to see that. Asteroid City, there's a couple other ones on the same day. Not sure which one I'm going to see first, but The Flash right now on Rotten Tomatoes is currently, the last time I looked, sitting at 73%. So, not too good of a critic score, but not honestly too bad either. 75, that's passing in my book. 73. It's what, a C plus or something? Getting by, C's that get degrees, you know what I'm saying? This is movies. Also, some more Spider-Man 2, the video game, images has released. You can see this battle in front of the Brooklyn Bridge. You can see with Kraven, and what the makers of the game had to say in an interview I was watching the other day really made me curious on how Kraven will play, because what they really said about him is that he doesn't have superpowers. He's not like all these other villains that have something to fight for, where he's just the greatest hunter in the world, and he just so happens to have turned his eyes to hunting down Spider-Man. And I don't know if this other image is Kraven or not, but you'll have to tell me. All I know is that from the first trailer, when we saw this first image of Venom coming out of the shadows, we were all terrified. But who is that Venom? Because they also confirmed that it's not going to be Eddie Brock. So what does that mean? they also changed, I was talking about it in one of the last videos, for Miles Morales is like lightning. They changed his orange to blue. So you can see that there in this picture. You can also see it like kind of even infecting like his cells inside of him, like his inside his chest is kind of like these veins, and you can almost see like the electric current going through his whole body. That's kind of cool. Miles is such a cool Spider-Man, his visibility and like electric shock. But this is the image I really wanted to talk about. This was the image that released the other day of Venom here jumping after Spider-Man 1, and you can see Miles coming up in the back. This was released in a real wide shot, but this, when they pulled it in tighter on just these two, looks so much better. Oh man, that art right there is like just crazy. But is that Venom gonna be Kraven? I could see that being pretty wild. Kraven gets Venom, like ooze or goo or symbiote, whatever it is. He gets the goo and he's just like starts going nuts, like, whew. But man, that's so crazy. So I'm on a big Spider-Man kick right now. I've been replaying the Spider-Man video game. I've been non-stop dreaming, thinking about fucking that animated Across the Spider-Verse movie. I've been rewatching Into the Spider-Verse a couple times now. I just went back and I'm rewatching Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I'm going to start and I'm just going to rewatch all the Spider-Mans. I just did Tom's trilogy recently too. So, yeah, so I'm going to have to rank all my Spider-Man movies on Letterboxd. So go check that out if you haven't. But something I'll be talking about on in an upcoming video quite soon is, I think this comes out 2 weeks maybe, or maybe next week, but no, I think it's 2 weeks. Secret Invasion comes out, and that show is going to respark the fire for a lot of people. A lot of people were having Marvel fatigue, whatever that is. I was ready for it all. If they didn't have any delays and they released every single week like they planned originally, I would have been happy. But hey, I'm here for them waiting and making sure everything's good, and like when they space it out, each thing gets like its time to shine. And this we haven't gotten anything in a little bit. Like Guardians was in May, so like now it's middle of June. Like we're already kind of forgetting about Guardians, even though none of us can forget the tears we shed for that movie. That movie's just so good. Shout out James Gunn. But the first 2 episodes of Secret Invasion will be 52 minutes. Well, the first episode will be 52 minutes and 44 seconds. The second episode will be 55 minutes and 28 seconds. And I am hyped for that, because that's like a 2-hour movie right there, and we still have 4 more episodes. And all I'm saying is, who do you trust and who isn't a Skrull? And I'm thinking everybody's a Skrull. Like, and they're about to trick us, because they can go back and change things that we know. You know what I mean? Like things that happened that we just thought were things, all of a sudden they can change the entire story because one of those persons was a Skrull, and it wasn't actually the guy that we saw, and it was a Skrull. It's like, that's just to think about. Like, and they're an army of people that can just disguise themselves as anybody, as you. You know, I could be hunting down a Skrull and he just looks like me, and then somebody shoots me and then like looks at him and he's just like, oh, I'm just gonna change to somebody else now. That guy's dead, whatever. You know, like, or I die and he just carries on my life. Like, oh, that's terrifying. But this show is gonna spark some fire, and I can't wait to cover this show. Stay tuned for future episodes covering Secret Invasion. And if you guys have any questions about that show that you think I might know the answers to, comment below. Or at me on Twitter, BigCamYouTube. Or on Instagram, Comically Boston, whatever you prefer. But we got to go back to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. There's just so many things going on. Like what might happen in the next one. I think Spider-Punk, Mr. Hobie Brown, is going to be Miles' kind of like new mentor-ish type thing. But Peter B's still going to be there, and I definitely want to see him in the next movie. You know, him and his daughter in this movie is hilarious. When there's just so many lines in this movie that hit so funny. Like, but if we're being honest, we all know my favorite character was Hobie Brown. He just had such style. Like, he was so cool. Like, and then Daniel Kaluuya, I'm sorry if I butchered his name, but he just has such like a cool voice for him, and like it's just so authentically like Spider-Punk, and he's like, oh yeah, I don't like the AM, I don't like the PM, you know, like just the way he says things is so funny. I can't wait to rewatch every scene with him in it, like when I can pause and rewind and just see all the little quips and shit that comes up while he does it. Oh man, he's gonna be great in the next movie too. But this movie is one of my favorite lines. This is when the baby craps. Like, and Peter B's like, "Was that you? Oh, you pooped. Oh yeah. Oh, smelly. You're definitely a Parker." You know, and he's like, so, and then Hobie walks up and goes, "Taking a crap on the establishment, I salute you." You know, and you're like, oh my god, he's so funny. Like, just, there's so many lines like that though that are just one quick line that somebody says, but there's so many people that, like, one person throws in a funny quip and then it's like 5 other people are still seriously carrying on the conversation, but the audience is still laughing hard as shit. So we're like, wait, what did they say? What happened? So there's probably quite a few lines that I missed the actual what they said because we were too busy laughing in the movie, but there's so many parts in this movie like that where you're just cracking up. But Hobie motherfucking Brown, look how cool he looks. Like, got piercings, he's got hair. I love him. He takes off the mask and Miles is like, "How are you cooler under the mask?" He goes, "I was just cool the whole time." You know, like, and you're like, yeah, you are, dude. You're so fucking cool. Like, and honestly, like, I don't know if Daniel Kaluuya could play him live action, but a live action Spider-Punk is what the world needs right now. Like, I'm telling you. In a live action Gwen Stacy is honestly, I think, where we're heading maybe for the end of Beyond the Spider-Verse. I think we might have Miles and Gwen end up being live action and possibly even ending up in a live action universe. Maybe the MCU, maybe Sony's own universe. If Sony keeps up the pace of this type of movie, like Across the Spider-Verse, I'm okay with them making movies, and you know, but if they keep putting out stuff like Morbius and Venom 2, you know, I didn't hate Venom 2 because I like Woody Harrelson and Tom Hardy, but it also wasn't the best movie. You know, it just wasn't great. Probably a 2 out of 5 because I'm not mean enough to give it lower than that. Sorry, is what it is. But, you know, I love that some of the animations, they actually kind of are close enough to the actor that is voicing them that you're like, oh, if they go live action, they could probably just get these actors in pretty seamless transition. You know, obviously Haley Steinfeld is gorgeous, but she's a brunette, and old Gwen here is a blonde. So, and, you know, if there's a problem with her being in the MCU already as Kate Bishop's a brunette. So, you know, if you leave Kate Bishop like a specific look with the brunette, and then you know, have Haley shave the side of the head, go blonde, I don't know, side by side, I'm looking at them. I think she could pull it off. She would have to wear, what, blue contacts again, kind of like Hawkeye, and I think Kate Bishop's got blue contacts. And, you know, I just want to see Gwen and Miles end up together in the end of the third one. I don't want her to end up being, you know, her just off on her own, or with Hobie. That initially, when I saw this movie, I was like, Hobie's stealing Gwen right underneath Miles, and Miles can't even, like, be there to fucking try and fight back. But I mean, shit, I'd fall for Hobie too. He's just so fucking cool. Like, how do you not? But, you know, I definitely want to see maybe Issa Rae play Spider-Woman in a live action universe. I'm curious to see if maybe the baby is significant in the next movie. You know, she definitely was pregnant for a long time. I thought at one point during the movie she was just going to pop. But also Spider-Buggy was in this movie. Maybe he's going to be back, and love the Spider-Buggy. He's actually over the right channel on the side of the Daily Bugle there. But obviously Miguel O'Hara is going to be back. Oscar Isaac, he could play him live action and have yet another character in the Marvel universe. But hey, you know, whatever floats your boat. But I can't wait to see Miles fighting back versus the Spot. So comment below, what are you most excited for? Stay tuned for Monday's video. I'm going to be talking more Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and more Spider-Man stuff, so stay tuned for that. And check me out on Letterboxd to see what I'm ranking these movies and see what movies I'm watching. And at me on Twitter, send me a message on Instagram if you got any questions or of anything you'd like to ask, and maybe I'll answer those in a future video. But I'm Big Cam. I'll see you soon. Check out my links in the description below. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell if you're new so you don't miss any future videos. Y'all know what to do. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend, y'all.